If you think there's no chance for you to get into AI video, you're wrong. Every week, there are new people jumping into this space, learning the basics, and starting to utilize the most revolutionary technology of the past 100 years. The difference isn't talent, it's the approach. And in the next 18 minutes, you're going to learn the same system the best people in this space used. See, most people trying to get into AI videos are completely messing up the process. They subscribe to 5 different platforms, try to learn a bunch of models at the same time, and burn through hundreds of dollars before they even understand the foundations. In this video, I'm walking you through a simple 3-step roadmap that takes you from complete beginner to near professional. Step 1, you learn the foundations that let you skip the learning curve most people get stuck on for months. Step 2, you learn the single most important skill in all of AI. And step 3, you add one extra trick that takes your videos from amateur to professional. If you've almost given up on this, then this video will give you the clearest path to creating your first AI video. And the reason this first step is so important is that a lot of beginners trying to get into AI videos treat it like a lottery. They see something they like, they find a model, they copy and paste a prompt in and hope for a good result. And sometimes, sure, they get lucky, but when they try to recreate it or make something on their own, it simply doesn't work. And it's because they never learned the actual mechanics behind what makes a good AI video work, so they have no clue what actually failed them. So let me save you hundreds of dollars and months of frustration. Every single AI video you've ever seen breaks it down into 2 methods, text to video and image to video. Both are really powerful, but one of them gives you a lot more control than the other. Text to video is simple, and it's the one I recommend you to begin with. You write a prompt, and the AI creates a video based on the text description you've given it. This is where most beginners start because you don't need any design skills, you don't need to create any images first. You just need to learn how to prompt. And prompting is one of the most important skills in AI, something we're going to dive a lot deeper into in step 2. But here's the thing about text to video. It has a ceiling. At some point, you're going to want more control over what the AI actually produces. You're going to want more specific scenes, more specific people, and results you simply cannot get from words alone. And this is where my favorite method totally changes the game. Image to video works a little differently. Instead of giving the AI just words, you're giving it a starting image and then a prompt on top of that. You're showing the AI exactly what you want the first frame to look like. And some models, which we're going to cover a little deeper, also let you have an ending image as well. That means you have control of both where your video begins and where it ends. The AI just fills in the motion in between. And the reason this is so helpful is because you're not hoping that AI will understand your text descriptions anymore. You're showing it exactly what you want to get done. This is how the best creators in this space are making content that looks like it was filmed on an actual camera. Now, step 3 is where we dive a lot deeper into image to video, including how to generate the right images in the first place. But right now, there's still one important thing you need to know before we can go ahead and start generating. Because the reality is that there are dozens of AI video generators out there. I've tested well over 50 of them in just the past year alone, and it's not as easy as just picking one and sticking with it. Because some give you good realistic results, while others give you something that doesn't look like a video at all. So let me break it down into 3 tiers, because that's the easiest way to see this. The first tier is all about creating videos that look the best. This is where you have models like Google Veo 3.1 and Sora 2 Pro. These are the highest end models, and they cost the most per video, but the output is the closest thing to real footage that AI has ever produced. So if budget isn't the main concern and quality is everything for you, this is where you want to focus your attention. Now, most people aren't going to live on the top tier, and honestly, you don't need to. The middle tier also gives you solid results at a reasonable price. This is where you have models like Seedance, Minimax, and even Google's faster models. Yes, you will sacrifice a certain amount of realism, and it won't look as good as the highest end models, but you're still utilizing models with a lot of features and realism at a much more decent price. Now finally, you have the low tier, and by any means, it's not bad to use, because this is all about testing and iterating at a fraction of the price of what you would pay for the others. And there's one model here that stands above everyone else, because even though this one has one of the lowest prices on the market, it still gives you really good results. This model is called Kling. It's cheap, it's fast, and it's super useful when you're experimenting with a lot of output. Now the next problem becomes actually using all of those models, because if you go ahead and search up every single model I just mentioned, your total subscription bill will quickly rise up to $100 or even hundreds of dollars really quick. And that's why the best way to use all those models is with something called an all-in-one platform. An all-in-one platform is a tool that combines all of those models in one interface and allows you to access them on one subscription. Now, one big caveat about all of this is that most of those all-in-one platforms are filled with unnecessary tools, cluttered UIs, and a really big learning curve. One platform that I found to completely overcome all of that is OpenArt, and that is the exact platform we're going to be using throughout step 2, where I'll show you how to prompt and how to create the best text-based videos. Now, before we jump into prompting, let me quickly show you around OpenArt. When you first sign up, you want to head over to the video section on the left. Here you want to select text to video, and this prompt box is where we write the text descriptions to create our videos. At the top, you can see all the different models you have access to. The ones I mentioned earlier, like Sora 2 and Veo 3, as well as Kling and Minimax models. But for this first one, we're going to be using Google Veo 3. The reason for that is because it works the best with the first prompt structure I'm about to show you, and that is the camera first approach. This structure is really good for Google Veo 3 specifically because it prioritizes camera movement, allowing you to define the motion first, and then you force the model to build the scene around that motion. The structure goes like this. You start off with a camera movement, describing what the camera is going to be doing in the video, followed by a scene description, where you describe the overall environment that everything takes place in. Then you follow it with a transition or change, and finally, the aesthetic. So this first prompt we're going to use goes like this. We have the camera movement, followed by moving sideways through a busy medieval marketplace in 1400s France. But we can expand on it even more, saying something like muddy streets, merchants selling bread and cloth, chickens running across the path, and so on. You can see that we expanded more, giving the AI a full overview of what we're going for. And this is really the key. The more specific you get with a prompt, the better results you will get. But let's go ahead and end it off with the two final steps. The camera moves steadily past the stalls. This is the transition. And finally, the aesthetic, overcast lighting, desaturated colors, cinematic documentary style, handheld camera shake. This is the prompt following this structure. So let's go ahead and fine-tune the settings before we generate this. The first thing I'm going to make sure I have on is version 3.1. This is the one that's going to give you the best results out of Google Veo. Then you want to make sure the audio is selected. Specifically with Veo 3.1, it makes a day and night difference in terms of the immersion. Next up, the resolution. I'm going to select the highest one I have access to. For the video mode, I'm going with normal, since I want the highest quality available. And finally, I'm going to select 8 seconds for the duration. Now that being said, let's go ahead and create the video. And here is the result.
Du pain frais, achetez vos miches. La meilleure laine de la ville. C'est trop cher, je vous donne 2 pièces.
As you can clearly see, the video looks absolutely amazing. I love how the camera is super consistent with what we prompted it to. The medieval aesthetic really makes this whole video look a ton better. Overall, I absolutely love how this video came out. But most importantly, you now have this first structure to use as a guiding hand throughout any prompt creation. But there's one more structure that gives you a lot more versatility and doesn't tie you into a specific model, and that is the S.A.L.T method. It starts off with clearly defining who the subject is, so who or what is in the frame, followed by action, so what are they currently doing? And this is crucial for video, because otherwise you're just going to have a moving photo that just has a little bit of environmental movement in it. Next up, you want to have the location, so where something is taking place, with the final description of things like tone, lighting, camera angle, film stock, or mood. So let's go ahead and switch over to another model, and for this one, I'm going to showcase Kling 2.6. Now as you can clearly see, by switching to Kling 2.6, it immediately takes our credit usage from almost 1,000 to just 150 credits. That is drastically cheaper than any other model that will give you the same type of results. But with that being said, let's go ahead and craft a prompt using the S.A.L.T method. I'm going to start off with the subject, a woman made entirely of flowing white marble fabric. Then I'm going to explain the action. Stand still while the wind whips the fabric violently around her. Then the location. She's standing in the middle of a vast dry salt flat at sunset, followed by the technicalities. The lighting is golden hour, warm and dramatic. Shot on 35mm film, low angle, slow motion. I'm going to select the duration at 5 seconds for this one. And there you go. We have the exact results that we prompted it to. But what's really cool about this is that Kling is actually able to give us this level of results. In my opinion, this is the absolute best result you can get for this price, which is why Kling time and time again comes up as one of my favorite models. But now that you understand the foundations and have the two key methods of prompting, there's one thing that will drastically improve your results and save you tons of time. And the reason I didn't reveal it until now is because without the foundations, you would never be able to create prompts on your own. What I'm talking about is my own AI tool that you'll find linked in the description below. It actually allows you to create prompts instantly by just clearly describing what it is you want to have. It's called Prompt Architect and it's super easy to use. When you first click on it, you just need to give it two things. The first one is the model you're going to be using, and the second one is just a short description of what you want to create. For mine, I'm going to use Sora 2 Pro. And for the description, I'm going to write a what's in my bag style UGC video. Then here is the prompt that it gives me. I'm going to copy the prompt, head over to OpenArt, select Sora 2, and make sure the Pro model is selected. I'll select the highest settings and 12 seconds for the duration. I'm going to paste in my prompt, select the aspect ratio to vertical, and click create. And here is the result.
All right, let's see what's in here today. First up, my phone. Can't go anywhere without it. Wallet. Pretty slim. Keeps the essentials. Keys. I always lose these if they're not in the bag. That's basically it. Kind of simple, but it works.
Sora just amazes. this is really good at interpreting trends and nailing every single detail, from the way the person talks in this natural Gen Z voice to the overall aesthetic of the video that clearly is in line with the what's in my bag trend. Now you know both the foundations and you have full control over creating text to video content. But as I've already mentioned, text to video has a clear ceiling, and at some point you're going to want much more control. That is exactly what we're going to dive deeper into now. When using image to video, there's one crucial thing we need to do before writing the prompts and checking out the results, and that's generating the images themselves. For this one, I'm going to showcase you the entire step-by-step workflow for creating image to video videos with N-Frame. So for that, we first want to head over to the image section, then create image and select our model. Now out of all the image models, there are only a couple that you should really consider using because the other ones just aren't as good right now. The first one is Nano Banana Pro. It's by far the best image generator for editing or creating images from scratch, and it's the one we're going to be using today. But Seedream 4.5 is also a really good contender for the same use cases. It's just a different image generator, and the way it produces results will look a little bit different. A couple of other models you should definitely keep an eye out for is the OpenArt Photorealistic. It's by far the best model to generate people who actually look like people and not AI dolls. If you want something more professional, Flux is also a good model for creating images of people, and the entire Flux suite is really good for any type of image generation. I tend to rely on those from time to time as well. Here I'm going to select Nano Banana Pro, and for what we're going to be creating, I have this concept of a person walking out of a painting. So for the very first image, I'm going to write this prompt right here, a straight-on shot of a big historical fancy painting of a person hanging on the wall. Generating prompts for images is super easy, especially with Nano Banana Pro. You just describe exactly what you want to get done, and that's it. There's no complexity to it whatsoever. So I'm going to select 2 for the number of images. I'm going to make sure I have the widescreen size selected and select the 4K resolution. Then I'm going to click create, and here are the results. In my opinion, it came out looking really nice. It looks exactly as what I had imagined, but there's one slight thing we're going to do to this, and that's change the face of the person in the painting. I'm going with Ryan Gosling and this image of him right here. So to change that, I'm going to remove the current prompt I have, click on Omni Reference, and import an image from history, which is going to pull up the recently generated images we just made. And I'm also going to add the image of Ryan Gosling. For the prompt, I'm going to write, change the face of the person in the painting to the face of the person in the second image while still keeping the painting the same, and all the clothes as well as the environment stays unchanged. Then I'm going to click generate. It gives us a really nice image of Ryan Gosling in this painting, and it looks super good. There are still a couple of things we want to get done. This won't be our first starting frame, so I'm going to remove both of the images and use the last image we just generated. And for this prompt, I'm going to write, make an image as if the person from the painting just got out of the painting and is now standing in front of it as if he came to life. Keep the environment and the background and everything else unchanged and make everything look realistic. The realistic part is important because it tells the AI to make everything flow naturally instead of just pasting a painterly image on top of everything. But with that being said, I'm going to click generate. And here's the next result. This will make for a really nice shot once we bring all of this to life. But for the last shot, I'm just going to remove Ryan Gosling from the image entirely. So I'm going to import the last image from history again and write, make the image without the person standing in front of the painting in the frame as if he walked out of the shot. Keep everything else unchanged. Here's a little tip about generating prompts with images, and that's to always use as if and then describe what you want. This way, the AI gets the full context of why you're giving it those instructions, and it works wonderfully for me. But here's the final shot that we have. With all of those, I'm now going to download all 3 images, and now we're actually going to head to the videos and start creating. So the key thing for this is that you want to select image to video. And here, out of all the models, you'll have this little tag that says N-Frame on it. Those are the models you want to stick to because those are the ones that allow you to incorporate both a starting and an ending frame. I'm going to select VO3 for this one. I'm going to make sure all my settings are at the highest setting available, and I'm now going to incorporate my first starting frame. That'll be the image of the painting hanging on the wall. And then for the end frame, I'm going to add the image of Ryan Gosling standing in front of the painting as if he walked out. Now, regarding the prompting when using image to video, if you remember the S.A.L.T method, for image to video, you only want to focus on the A. Basically, just describing the action, because the AI already has everything else. It has the subject, it has all the transitional and extra elements like the aesthetic and tone and style, and it also has the location element as well. So the only thing we're focusing on is the action. I'm going to write, make a video of a person in the painting coming to life and carefully stepping out of the image and standing himself still in front of the painting. I'm going to click create, and here's the result. It looks super nice, and the way it all came together works wonderfully. The key thing is that we had everything set in place from the images, and now the video looks perfectly in line with what we had imagined. But the key thing with end frame is the transitions. Here, if you just click on this button right here, it brings the previous end frame to the starting frame. That means the next video will start from the exact frame that the previous one ended on, making for a completely seamless transition. For this one, I'm going to upload the image of Ryan Gosling after he's already walked out of the frame. And for the prompt, I'm going to write, make a video of a person looking around carefully and a little bit cautiously, then carefully walking out of the frame. I'm going to click create, and here's the result. All of the aesthetics we had in mind stay untouched, which is absolutely cool to see. So now we're going to stitch both of those videos together, and I'm going to show you the final result. And as you can see, it all works out wonderfully. There are absolutely no cuts in between, making for a coherent 16-second long video without any cuts visible. This is one of the most powerful and best ways to create AI video that I'm aware of. But there's still one important thing I want to teach you about image to video, and that's using objects and other elements to create videos where you can have a product or anything else staying perfectly consistent. For this, the best model I recommend is Sora 2, because we're only going to be using the starting frame so that the AI can lock itself onto the object. One important thing to remember about Sora 2 is that it doesn't allow you to create videos with a starting frame of people. So all the images you want to add here shouldn't have people in them, and you should let the AI come up with the person itself. So with that being said, I'm going to use this image of AG1. I'm going to upload it as my starting frame. Then for the prompt, I'm going to write a UGC style video filmed on a smartphone of a young, natural looking Gen Z woman in a sunlit apartment holding up the green AG1 pouch from the image. She smiles enthusiastically and speaks directly to the camera, gesturing with her free hand as she talks about her daily routine. She says, honestly, this is one of my favorite things ever, and explains how she loves the energy that the product gives her. Her expression is genuine and happy, and she sells the product in a really natural way. This will now give us a super realistic UGC ad promoting this product in a supernatural way. So I'm going to click generate, and here's the result.
Honestly, this is one of my favorite things ever. I drink it first thing in the morning and it just sets me up. The energy I get from it is so clean and steady, no jitters, no crash.
Again, Sora 2 never ceases to surprise me. It's by far one of the best generators out there, and the video came out looking wonderful. You've just unlocked the final step of AI video creation, image to video, alongside with every other step of the roadmap. But what really makes this whole roadmap possible is OpenArt. It brings together all the most important and recent AI image and video models into one clean package with a beginner-friendly UI that you can learn in minutes. So if you want to start creating AI videos today, go ahead and sign up to OpenArt using my link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.